Hello everybody, it's Joe. Today we're doing Flashback 1980. This is the 1980 yearbook. Apologize in advance, but it's really fallen apart in all these years and having it stored. So let's get started. I'm gonna go right up to the sports section in today's episode because there's quite a bit in here. So this is the class of 1980, and that picture is taken behind the community building, the stairs going up to the community building by I think it's Beach Street, if you remember right. Okay, next. I gotta put my glasses on, can't see when it comes to reading. We have the dedication of the yearbook, and this right here is Carol Griffin. Sure if you guys remember her. Let me read the passage. In the past 4 years, there's been a woman who has done a lot of work for our class as a whole and for each of us individually. Whenever we went into the office, we were greeted with a smile and a cheery hello. We really appreciate all that she has done. Words are not enough to express our thanks. The senior class of 1980 proudly dedicates this yearbook to Mrs. Carol Griffin. So that was very nice of them. She was a nice lady. Okay, the next individual in appreciation was Mr. Richard Pike. And let me read the passage here. There has been a man who we've known for the last 4 years in high school, but has never really come in contact with until this year. He has done a lot for our class, not only as a teacher, but also as our class advisor. We really appreciate all that he has done. The senior class of 1980 would like to thank Mr. Richard Pike for all his time and effort. That was a nice gesture too. Okay, and here's the principal, Don Evans. Not Howard Evans, like I stated in the first video. I got my two principals mixed up on name. And then we're going to get into the teachers. I will read the names to you, left to right, and then I'll show you the pictures. Mr. Height was the English teacher, for all of you who remember him. Mrs. Walker, she was the phys ed teacher. Mrs. Ainsley was the math teacher. Mr. Hatch was the business teacher. Mrs. Heineman was the student teacher. And Mr. McAloon, BOAG, he was the BOAG teacher. And Mr. Labs was special ed. There goes the page. Okay, next page. Okay, left to right, we have Mrs. Hatch for business, Miss Bellway for history, Mr. Hall was the driver's ed teacher, Mrs. Harry was the language teacher, I think she did French and Spanish, and Mrs. Evans was the English teacher. Any of you out there, if you have a favorite teacher, please go ahead and comment on it. Okay, the next page, left to right. Mr. Pike was the English teacher. Mrs. Mullen and Mrs. Stickney were the librarians. Mr. Cobb was the science teacher. Mrs. Emery was the music teacher. And Miss O'Brien was the English teacher, Mrs. O'Brien. She was my favorite teacher. I liked her. She was very nice. I didn't like English, but the teacher was all right. Okay, left to right. We got Mr. Craigie. He was the band teacher. Mr. Fide, he was the art teacher. I really liked him too. He was also my ski instructor my junior year. Mrs. Smith was the math and science teacher. Miss Gibson was languages. Mr. Whalen was counseling, and Miss Lindsay was the math teacher. Let me tell you a funny story about Mrs. Lindsay. She's the only teacher in my 4 years of high school that gave me detention. And it's a funny story, actually. I had this ability to whistle through my nose back then. And I used to sit by the radiator, those radiators that made hissing noises in class. And I started doing it. And she was walking around. And when I did it, you couldn't tell. I could do it without even knowing I was doing it. You couldn't tell I was doing it. And so she kept walking over by the radiator, and she was like, I've got to get Freddie Grenier in here to look at this. This is annoying. And then a couple of students started laughing because they knew it was me. And they were like, laughed, and then they stopped. I did it again. And then I finally had a student reported me. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but he reported me, and yeah, I confessed to it. So I ended up getting detention because of it. I'll never forget it. So that was my encounter with her. Okay, next. Left to right, Mrs. Holden, home economics. Mr. Ackerman, the phys ed teacher. Mr. Vagonzi was the science teacher. Mr. Robinson, the history teacher. I liked his class too. Mr. Walker was the science teacher, and Mr. Dempsey was the shop teacher. Okay, now we're getting into the seniors of 1980. So I'm not going to elaborate a lot on it. I will just show you some of the pictures, and some of the ones that stand out I may comment on. So if any of this brings back memories, feel free to comment. This is a good picture here. This is a picture of Brad Sackett, Wayne Bigelow, and Guy Mitchell raising hell in the hallway. That's no surprise. It was this picture right here. I think that was the staircase going down to the kitchen downstairs. But they had a good time. And then this one below was Guy Mitchell and Brad Sackett. It looks like Kevin Keith messing around with Kevin right here. Kevin was a character too. Strong as an ox. You didn't want to mess up with him. Mess with him, actually. This is a good picture. You got Rob DeRosia, Wayne Bigelow, Rick Fabrizio. They were a bunch of characters. And look in the background. Look at the cars. What a difference in cars from today. But hey, if you had a car, it was great back then. I can see a Ford Pinto. My first car I ever owned was a Chevy Vega, believe it or not. But hey, it got me to where I had to go. My grandfather gave it to me, so I couldn't complain. All right. Happiest, Brenda Fournier, which is a good one. Right there. And Carl Sawyer down here. Unfortunately, he passed. It was him and Meatball. You guys remember Meatball? They got into an auto accident up in Monroe, and they both perished, and it was sad. I don't remember what year that was. Somebody remembers, they can feel free to comment. Some more assorted pictures. Gina Cobb, most musical. Bill Spencer, most likely to succeed. That's Bill, and Tina's right up here. I don't know where these people are today. Lost contact with a lot of people after school. And here's some more assorted pictures. Hope you guys can see this okay. And here's some more. We had big classes back then. I think we had 66 students in our class, if I remember right. Big class. We were class M. Today they're class S. And there's a guy, nice guy right there, John Aldrich. There's my cousin Tony Kidder. John right above, and then my cousin's right down below. This guy, Mike Gauthier, I played on the soccer team with him. Right there. And now we're gonna get into the seniors. I will just quickly scan through the page, read their names, and then show you the pictures. We have Julie Ackerman, John Aldrich, Steve Allen, Danny Aslin, Karen Beckley, Wayne Bigelow, Richard Blanchard, George Bolter, Lloyd Bixby, and Kenneth Blaisdell. That's this page here. Next page, we got Carol Booten, Clifford Booten, Virginia Buttrick, Willie Carl, Richie Clifford, Diane Chase, Darlene Caswell, Tina Cobb, Donna Colby, and Danny Crawford. Next page, we get Carol Dancero, Rita Davidson, hi Rita, Carol Doyle, Lori Doyle, June Drown, Terry Estes, Ross Evans, Richard Fabrizio, Tammy Flynn, and Brenda Fornia. That's this page here. Next page, we got Mary Ellen Fornia, Anna Frazier, Mike Gauthier, Diane Gibson, Tuesday Griffin, Wendy Hall, Kim Hansen, Kathleen Haskins, Bill Horn, Robert Herminsky. And that's this page here. We're all so young and in good shape. And we got, next page, Diane Ingalls, James Ingerson, Lori Irwin, Rodney Wacky, Rick Kidder, Deborah Keith, Sheila Linkiel, John McGilvery, Sandra Martin, Bernie Marvin. It's this page here. Next page, Hillary May, Annette McKean, Guy Mitchell, Debbie Morrison, Mel Nyhan, Susan Noble, James Pollock, Ramona Redmond, Kim Ramsey, and Mary Roden. This page here. A lot of kids. Big class. Okay, next one we have John Roy, Michael Ruprecht, Brad Sackett, Carl Sawyer, Leslie Simpson, Randy Slayton, Peter Smith, Regina Smith, Laurie Spencer, Marcia Spencer. Right here, this page. All right, next page. Bill Spencer, Shirley Stark, Dave Stimson, Janice Teague, Marie Tatro, Ronald Town, Tammy Turner, Sandra Wright, Sarah White, Claudia Williamson. This page here. Okay, and then we just have assorted, these are baby pictures as we had in the last yearbook, 1979 series. It's the same thing, I won't spend a lot of time. I'll just go through them and show you. Okay, organizations. We have the French Club and the Latin Club. And if something pertains to a memory or pertains to myself, I'll make a comment on it. Concert band and stage band. Combined chorus and swing choir. It's over here. Junior Honor Society and Senior Honor Society. Student Council and FFA. Okay, then we got media, and then radio, TV, journalism staff. Then we got the coaches and the yearbook staff. The coaches, I will read through them. Mrs. Walker, Mr. Gonzi, Mr. Ackerman, Mr. Labs, Mr. Whalen, Mr. Walker, Miss Gibson, Mrs. Holding, and then missing coaches were Mr. Fide, Mr. Craigie, and Mr. Mars. And we got drama. I don't recall what this play was. But looking at the pictures, it looked kind of funny. Awards assembly. My classmate Barry McDonald received an award. Daryl Copeland, he was a smart guy. I worked with Daryl for a while. Good guy. Haven't seen him since then. And we got some assorted ones on this page. Yeah, Daryl and I worked down at Aldrich's General Store together at the time with Phil Tucker. Phil Tucker was working with us. His parents owned it then. Okay, now we're off to the junior prom. One of my classmates, Ron Magoon, pictured there. There's Randy Dockham. Randy Berthium, I'm sorry. We did have a Randy Dockham too. Winter Carnival, everybody's favorite. Over here, I was the king of our class, and Shirley Fournier was the queen. And that's us right there. And then down below, you'll see us here in the bottom picture. That's us with our trophies. Me and Shirley are right there. Always enjoyed Winter Carnival. We were pretty competitive. There's Prudy Cole. It's Joe Doucette and his girlfriend at the time. Boy, Connie, I think it was Connie Spencer, John Mellon, and Barb Stickney. Sorted pictures. And that is going to do it for this, for version 1. And tomorrow I will do the sport, I'll take over on the sports side. We'll finish up with that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have any comments or memories and you want to talk about it, bring it up, make a comment, and then I'll try to refresh my memory if I can remember certain memories of that individual. I'll bring it up. So thank you. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day.